You're watching ESPN's Bracket Builder Week, presented by Dish.
Welcome to Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by PNC. We're at Minges Coliseum in Greenville, North Carolina. The UConn Huskies come to town to take on the East Carolina Pirates. With Brooke Weisbrod, Mike Cousins, glad to have you along for this one tonight in the American, Brooke, where UConn is looking to do some damage in the standings.
They need to get to that top 5. If you do, you get a bye in the AAC tournament. But UConn's not only playing for that, they're still playing their way to get into the NCAA tournament with just 8 wins in the American Conference. They would love to at least get 3 out of these last 4 for the Huskies.
Just a game back in the loss column behind Temple, Cincinnati, and Memphis. Ryan Boatwright leads the charge, 18 points a game for the senior out of suburban Chicago, with Rodney Purvis playing not far from his home of Raleigh. Daniel Hamilton, Philip Nolan, and Amita Brima, the 7-footer. Three-headed monster. BJ Tyson doesn't start for them, but Terry Wisden and Caleb White do, with Michelle Enzigi, Marshall Gilmet, and Antonio Robinson running the point guard spot. We will see BJ Tyson, first man off the bench for Jeff Lebo, now in a year at number 5 here at ECU, former head coach at Auburn as well. And at center circle to take the jump, it's Enzigi and Brima. ECU in the home whites and UConn in the road blues. First matchup of the year in Stores, Connecticut went to UConn, but here at home, East Carolina has been very good this year. 11-3 on the year and a 5-2 mark in conference play.
And Mike, we saw a very confident East Carolina team battle UConn, not just for a while, not just for 10 minutes, but a good portion of the game. And then Ryan Boatwright just took over. He was 7 of 10 from 3, and the Huskies able to penetrate through that defense. But if East Carolina can shoot well in the first 5 minutes, score in transition, get that confidence, I think that will set the tone, because we got a full house.
Well, Gilmet lines it up from 3, just the 4th triple he's made this year, but he sets a good tone for the Pirates on the board first.
He's somebody to keep your eye on. He can really extend the defense, and if Amita Brima follows him outside to the 3, guess what? That really opens up the paint for the Pirates to drive.
Hamilton goes for Brima, who's a near sure thing, 71% from the field, and he's got the first 2 for the Huskies. Pirates looking for a high-low. Wisden pulls the trigger and misses wide. Boatwright heaves it up for Brima, and Gilmet stymies it. Here come the Pirates. White from the edge, in and out. Rebound tipped up into the hands of Wisden, and he resets with Robinson, the senior point guard.
One of the points of emphasis tonight for Kevin Ollie was transition defense, and I doubt this is what he wanted to happen. You get a long look, but then you keep the play alive with offensive rebounds. UConn is too good of a rebounding team. You do not want East Carolina to control the boards tonight.
Kevin Ollie, season number 3 for the 1995 UConn graduate, and a 13-year NBA veteran as well. 11 losses this year, more than he had in his first 2 years, 10 and then 8, of course, with last year being a national championship season.
So many times this UConn team has had to fight down from double digits time after time and try and gut out wins or just lose by single digits here or there. This team has been fighting since day one. Here we go.
And that has been the story as of late for the Huskies. Hamilton, the freshman, to Brima, the 7-footer, penetrate and deliver.
Exactly right, Mike. That combo's been working well. And then you have your leader, Ryan Boatwright, kind of doing everything.
First 2-point field goal try off the mark from Robinson. The lob again, and Brima makes easy work. Hamilton with his 2nd assist.
And that's the other thing we expected, the inside-out game of Connecticut. Right now on a 6-0 run because they've been able to get to the paint. A lesson they learned their game at home against East Carolina. That paint was so exposed.
And Wisden drills the 3 coming off the screen. 6-0 run, stopped with a triple from the outside. Hamilton tries it, and it was halfway down. Brima is still with all 6 points for the Huskies. ECU coming off a victory Saturday here at home against South Florida. 73-60 win against Orlando Antigua's squad. 4 players in double figures. 5 to shoot. Into the lane, short. Second try, no for Robinson. Third try, got it in one.
So UConn able to defend for more than 35 seconds here. This goes into the next possession, but the extra effort from East Carolina so far here in the first half has really what's helped keep these runs from UConn. They only run actually to start this game. Now they're taking over here. They got a 2-point lead. Just managing the first 4 minutes of a game like this is so critical because it builds your confidence. It sets the tone so how you can be the rest of the night. You clearly see the Pirates were ready for the Huskies.
Foul against UConn's Brima, his first and the team's first. And now some pressure extends across midcourt. Taken away, Wisden. He whips it back to Robinson, who leads a 4-man break. To the wing, Wisden for 3. And Ziggy and the Pirates pounding the offensive boards early in this one. Boatwright went airborne, smothered along the edge by Caleb White. Eight on the shot clock for Boatwright. He gets inside, kicks to the corner. White's got it for the Pirates.
East Carolina, I believe, is trying to change up their defenses. That time looked like an adjustment from a 1-3-1 where they extended the wings out. I think the further you can push UConn out, the better, because what you want to do is jam up the paint. You've already seen Amita Brima have ease getting right to the rim. And good adjustments.
Gilmet wants it again, and short off the front iron. Sometimes you feel that hot hand. He's only shooting 17% from 3 this season. UConn and ECU here at Minji's trading early runs, and the Pirates looking for the win, up by 3. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by PNC for the achiever in you. And in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And Energizer Eco Advanced, the world's first AA battery made with 4% recycled batteries. UConn, the defending national champions, and East Carolina trying for a home win for the first time against the defending national champ. Welcome back, Mike Cousins, Brooke Weisbrod, former Big South Player of the Year. Thanks for being with us. Ryan Boatwright, the first time these two teams played, 23 points for the Huskies. If ECU is going to win this game tonight, they've got to limit his action.
At times, he can just simply take over the game. I mean, that's why he's one of the most special players in the country. And for UConn, he needs help. He's got to have the other guy that he knows he can count on. So far, early in this game anyways, it's been Amita Brima, which is exactly what we heard in shoot-around. UConn wanted to go inside out. But I'll tell you what, you will rarely find kids tougher than Ryan Boatwright. And the career he's put together, over 1,500 points, preseason player of the year this year in the league. Plays through back tightness, injuries, whatever you need him to do. He's just a tough kid. But on cue, makes a turnover. Yeah.
And a rare
trying to give
turnover.
you praise here, buddy.
Rare turnover for a guy who's on the final 17 for the Cousy Award watch list, the nation's top point guard. And that award is going to be narrowed down to 5 come next month. So after Boatwright gave it away, it's the Pirates with a 3-point edge. B.J. Tyson in off the bench, tied for the team's lead in scoring. That's number 21 in the white. And a foul underneath the basket goes against the Huskies. And that's on Brima, number 2 on the big man.
I think you got to expect anytime you play UConn, you're going to go in it for the grind for that defense. They want to wear you down and force you to play half court, force you to run your offense. So if East Carolina can move well without the ball, keep their stamina up throughout the game, I think that's their best scenario.
So, Brooke, how does this change things here? Brima takes a seat maybe for the final 14.5 minutes of the half, and they bring in Philip Nolan, who started last game in a win against Tulane for the Huskies.
Well, you know what? This actually might be to UConn's advantage because they're going smaller now, which means they're faster and they're going to run a more guard-oriented game. Their guards are better than East Carolina's guards, so we'll see how this works out. And if East Carolina is going to try to attack the paint or still try to beat them from the outside.
10 to shoot, and working the edge. White draws a foul. And that's on Nolan. So far, the big men for the Huskies can't keep their hands off of the Pirates when they've got the basketball. 2 fouls on Brima, 1 on Nolan.
That's also what Kevin Ollie alluded to today. He said Amita Brima can be a game changer
if
when he's in the game.
Jinx
no stereo. Owe me a Coke, buddy.
And all 6 of the Huskies' points belong to Brima. Michael Zangari tries it from 3. 2 of the big men shooting from beyond the arc. Zangari just 1 of 10 from 3 this year. UConn went on a 6-0 run. Right now they're trying to break a 4-minute scoreless drought. Boatwright, contested 3, gets it to go. Those are the looks that ECU is going to have to be able to live with, are the contested 3s from Boatwright.
That's a tough shot, you know, but that's Ryan Boatwright, and it's quick for him to catch it and release it. You better be ready to close out on him, but even when you do, he's one of the quickest leapers, in my opinion, in the conference and in the country. Not just vertically, but laterally as well, so he can get by defenders very quickly. Beautiful
pass from Tyson into the paint, and Robinson was rejected. Hamilton came up with it, and now it's a one-on-one with Calhoun going to the bucket. He's called for a carry. 3rd turnover for UConn.
There's that quick release we're talking about with Boatwright. You see, it's just a catch, and even with that little hitch, it still looks fast. He's got no hesitation anytime he's got the ball in his hands, and that's one of the reasons that makes him such a dangerous player. He's got control over it. He rarely turns it over. He makes good decisions, and really this year he's tried to get his teammates involved much more.
Illegal screen. It's going the other way. Called on Tejada. Well, coming up after this game, 9 Eastern, Wednesday Night Hoops presented by PNC. Number 19 Baylor takes on number 12 Iowa State with a chance to get into a tie for first. The Cyclones could pull even with Kansas, and it's part of Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish here on the home court of College Hoops.
Cyclones 14-0 this season. The names holding down the court. Also scoring about 79 points a game.
That also helps to have 6 players in double figures.
Yeah, that helps.
Makes Fred Hoiberg's job easier.
Yeah.
Boatwright gets an open look. Got to find him on the edge. 6 for Boatwright.
So he feels a bigger responsibility with Brima on the bench to take over this basketball game right now. He feels like he's got to have the ball in his hands. You see how aggressive, too, he's playing on defense? He's just trying to make things happen for this Husky team. Remember, last time we saw this team at home against East Carolina, he promised us 10 wins in a row.
It's a big promise to make, but you alluded to it earlier as well, is that beyond Boatwright, there's got to be somebody who's a secondary scorer. Tyson is rejected, and Facey comes down with it. What kind of a look right now is ECU showing UConn?
Looks like a 1-3-1, and again, the wings really extending out past the three-point line to try to limit the threes and just kind of shut down anything in the paint with the guards driving, and you know, with Brima being out, the paint's not much of a threat. So East Carolina doing a good job right now defensively, just staying home and forcing the Huskies to shoot outside.
Tejada doesn't take the ball screen. Zangari, the big man, well out of his element, outside the three-point line. Shot clock is down to 10. Tejada, flustered by Boatwright, gets inside, and the foul is called on Nolan, and that is number 2 on the junior out of Milwaukee. UConn has jumped out to a 12-9 lead. Going to need everything they can get from their leading scorer, Ryan Boatwright. 6 points, all from beyond the arc.
The issue is no longer whether UConn will defend its national championship. It's whether or not the Huskies will even make the tournament to do so. It's been an up and down year for the Huskies, and with big games coming up against the likes of Memphis and SMU, the Huskies almost have to run the table to get an at-large bid this season.
Brooke Weisbrod, Mike Cousins, and UConn with a 3-point lead. So we heard what Joe Lunardi's take is. It is a tough stretch after this. The Huskies 0-3 against their next 3 opponents after this. What do you take, or what's your take, I should say, on their chances for the tournament?
I think the key was almost have to run the table to get in. I think 3 of the 4, they get in. I think 6th place in the American Conference, not going to get it done. But if you can get 3 out of the next 4 wins, you got, okay, 11 conference wins. You're the national champion, the defending national champion. I think that gets you in, but I think tonight is going to be a huge uphill battle for Connecticut. This East Carolina team looking awfully confident here. Plus, you add in the foul trouble that UConn's getting into early, and this could be a long night for the Huskies.
2 fouls on both Nolan and Brima. Big men for the Huskies. Not 10 minutes gone by here in the first half. What's interesting about that as well is that the strength of East Carolina does not lie in the paint. It lies with B.J. Tyson, Terry Wisnant, and Caleb White, 3 post scores. So how can those guys take advantage of the big men being out of the game for UConn?
Well, they've got to knock down shots. It's not like they're going to get away from their game plan, but what they are doing consistently is changing up their defense, and I think that's going to be one of their bigger strengths. East Carolina is still going to try and knock down threes, use the high screen and roll, pick and pop scenarios, and score in transition. But when they don't turn the ball over and when they can get boards, that's when they've got a real chance of getting this win here. Up in Connecticut, they were there. They just ran out of gas, really, was what happened there. And Ryan Boatwright said, yeah, I'm done messing around. Let me just knock down 7 threes real quick. Game over.
7 out of 10 from 3-point range for Boatwright in that game. And he holds it on the wing, guarded by the freshman Tyson. Into the corner. 3 gets the back iron for Calhoun. Tejada goes straight away. No lack of confidence tonight for the Panthers, no matter who's taking the 3.
Well, they started off okay. 3 of 7 since then, just, you know, freezing cold from the floor. 0 for 8, but that's what you're going to get with East Carolina. You're going to get spurts. They're not going to stop shooting threes. That's their game.
Tejada skips it. Tyson gets contact with Hamilton. Smart look from Gilmetti, waited off the double team and just left it short.
He was right there, just didn't finish the shot. He expected a little more contact.
Second try is tipped up and in by Kenton Facey off the miss from Purvis. UConn by 4. And opponents have not fared well here in Minges Coliseum this year. ECU 11-3 at home and 5-2 in the American. Facey got the deflection. Trapped on the block, back to Boatwright. Good initial stand, but Calhoun got open in the corner.
That was great position defense, East Carolina. They didn't overcommit to anything. They were able to close out, keep UConn out of the middle of the paint, force them to really keep the ball around the outside of the 3, and then the 1 and done with the rebound. Well, you got to be happy with that possession if you're Jeff Lebo.
Boatwright picks up his first foul. Jeff Lebo, now 5 years in, the 48-year-old head coach here at ECU. 15 foul against UConn, 4 so far against the Pirates. East Carolina, a very dangerous three-point shooting team, leading the league with better than 8 made threes a game. They go back inside. They think they've got the advantage, and Gilmet across the lane gets the first field goal in nearly 8 minutes for the Pirates.
He's the East Carolina version of Tyler Hansbrough. He's got no quit in him. I'm telling you, he wants the ball every time down, but he's not going to get upset if he doesn't get it. All he wants to do is just make plays. He wants to make something happen. Got to love his energy, and he's a good complement to these guards. Ooh, wow, that was pretty, Terry.
Jerry Wisnant, coast to coast, and Kevin Ollie not very happy coming out onto the floor with his team. Meanwhile, East Carolina has come back to tie things up.
Good defense leads to good offense, a good ball movement. That's a terrific box out to start this transition. And Terry Wisnant with a little shimmy shake. Oh, breaks some ankles along the way and then makes it count. Yes. Kind of like me this morning.
Yeah, happened to you earlier
all right,
today,
get it
right?
out. Go ahead.
Do you want to tell the story?
Sure. We were playing horse. our producer, Billy, and I dislocated my ankle. It popped back into place for all good, but we stopped the game short.
And that is why you don't wear boots when you're on a basketball floor.
You know, you're right. All right, point well taken.
Minji's Maniacs, crowd of near capacity here tonight. Hard to find an empty seat here tonight in chilly North Carolina. 7:50 to go, first half even between ECU and Connecticut. Nearly taken away by Tyson. Boatwright gets it out of the double team, back to Hamilton. And Purvis driving the lane, looking for a Sports Center play. And now Tyson, a lot of contact as he goes to the bucket. The follow does not count. The foul will send Tyson to the line, and the crowd here at Minji's Coliseum to its feet. 7:27 left in the first. East Carolina by 2, and the momentum is with the Pirates. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. With Brooke Weisbrod, Mike Cousins back at Minji's Coliseum, and East Carolina with a 2-point lead over UConn. 7:27 left here in the first half. Let's take a look at the latest dish on the Americans RPI, brought to you by Dish. And UConn is sitting at 80. This is reflective of the standings in the American. They sit at 6th going into action today. And really, RPI, any other metric be darned for UConn right now. It's about trying to win out the rest of the way and then get into the conference tournament and perhaps steamroll through that for a berth into the NCAA.
Let's keep breaking it down here, and it comes down to stopping the transition defense here in the first half and get your guys who are in foul trouble back in the second half. I mean, you really have to break it down into 4 minutes at a time. You don't want to look at it big picture, although you know it's at stake. I mean, that's why Ryan Boatwright guaranteed 10 wins in a row, and although that didn't come true, they know they're backs up against the wall. They know they feel like they have to win every game. It's an unsaid rule.
Boatwright gets the open look, pulls the trigger. 6 points for Boatwright, all from deep. Foul before the break was on Daniel Hamilton, his first. Campbell to Tyson with a head of steam. So far for this ECU squad, they've taken a lot of threes and maybe some uncharacteristic ones from post players, but none of their shots have seemed forced.
No, and they've at times this season gotten into one-on-one patterns, but UConn's still challenging them for 31 seconds plus. But every time that, it seems like anyways, that they've done that, East Carolina have been able to get to the rim, either gotten a foul or they've finished the bucket.
7-0 run for the Pirates. Hamilton, the freshman, dumps it off, and Nolan gets hacked as he tries to go up. doing his best to substitute for Amita Brima, who's got 2 fouls. Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy continues with a crucial Big 12 battle. Number 20 West Virginia and 19th ranked Baylor. Bears won the first matchup in Morgantown. Saturday at 4, this game on ESPNU, part of Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish. You're on the home court of college hoops. Foul number 2 on Paris Campbell puts Nolan at the line. Just 3 of 10 from the free throw line entering this game.
Philip Nolan, a player on this roster too. You know, you're not going to get 15, 16 points a night, but what you need is 5 to 7 rebounds. You need a block or 2. You need good screen set. You know, you need those times where Boatwright needs a speller, needs somebody to pass it off to with a strong finish. Philip Nolan can have big games. A lot of guys on this team can have big games. Gilmette's night might be tonight too.
Coming off of 13 points in that Saturday win against South Florida. Gilmette oft injured this year, but when healthy has been extremely effective for the Pirates, their best post player.
He's had to work hard to get the looks he has, so when Brima comes back in the game, is East Carolina going to continue to go to him?
Wisnat tries the reverse layup, and with a little English off the window, drops it in.
Man, Terry's giving us all kinds of good-looking highlights tonight.
Second time in this half he's scored from 94 feet away. And Terrence Samuel turns it over, a traveling call.
This is what you feared most for UConn, the transition offense here from East Carolina, and Terry Wisnat. Oh man, I mean not totally, but I remember a move somewhat, Jordan doing a little thing like that. Do you remember that was against the Knicks maybe?
You gotta have serious hang time.
Like Bulls against the Knicks, like something just registered in my mind. I swear to you, I feel like that is something he totally mimicked right there. Anyways, it was pretty and it went in. Nice move, Terry.
3 of 5 from the floor. They dump it inside, and Caleb White, the lefty, scores from the left block. A 13-1 run for ECU. Purvis stops the momentum. He's got about 50 family and friends here today who traveled from his hometown of Raleigh to watch him play.
He's been big at times as well. 17 points against USF. At times he's been the leading scorer off the bench. There are breakout stars on this Husky squad. They just got to have the complement and the confidence to do it every night.
Gilmette versus Nolan. That is foul number 3 on Nolan. So this makes it a little bit tougher for Kevin Ollie. Brima's got 2 fouls. Those came within the first 5.5 minutes. And now Nolan, who came off the bench to spell Brima, has 3 fouls.
You have to change your defense. Look, go into a zone. 4.5 minutes here, basically. This East Carolina team up 7. So you know their strategy's not going to change, or it shouldn't, I should say. UConn's going to stay in the same kind of defense. I think you continue going right at it because, hey, that's how the game's being called right now. So until that changes, you do what you got to do. You get their bigs into foul trouble, then all the better for you.
Hamilton tries the short corner. ECU commanding the glass. That's a tough call against Marshall Gilmette. Called for an illegal screen. So the momentum is quelled, but the Pirates still have the 8-point edge. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dish. Only the Hopper from Dish gives you the power to watch all your live and recorded TV anywhere. And Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award.
Anish Shroff in the studio with Dino Gaudio. Coming up at halftime, we'll show you how Virginia's doing without its floor general, and Kentucky's pretty good at this whole pursuit of perfection thing.
They are, and they're off to a great start. Trey Lyles, 13 of Kentucky's 29 points so far.
Yeah. Wildcats better than a 1-3 chance of winning the championship unscathed. Mike?
Well, you gotta like those odds. Trey Lyles, a stud in Indianapolis last year, his final year in high school. Back here in Greenville, North Carolina, 8-point lead for ECU. A look at Joe Lunardi's bracketology, updated daily. #1 seeds, Kentucky along that first line with Duke and the Zags, Villanova, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Kansas, the #2 line. Foul before the timeout was called on Marshall Gilmet, number 41.
Yeah.
They say you can't get the chicken wing arm out there, but I didn't really see that.
I didn't see much of a wing. I think he was explaining the same thing. He was handing the ball off, keeping the elbows tight in. Yeah, I don't know. That looked like a pretty set screen to me. I'd have to agree with you on that, Mike.
By the way, did you see the travel woes for Wisconsin? They got stuck last night flying back from their game. Landed in Pittsburgh because of some plane trouble and then got scattered at 3 hotels. It's not an easy trip to become a #2 seed.
No, and with the foot of snow expected for Raleigh, it'll be interesting to see what Connecticut does after the game, to be honest with you.
No, the Huskies last night, try from the corner is off. Landed in Raleigh-Durham at the airport where they were planning on flying here to Greenville. This airport was closed, landed there, and trudged at about 40 miles an hour here east toward Greenville and got in about midnight last night. Jump ball is called, a little extracurricular activity between Omar Calhoun and BJ Tyson. Ball to UConn.
We'll take another look at it here. BJ Tyson getting the rebound here and getting tangled up.
That's a tough jump ball.
Yeah, at first it's a jump ball, and it's really kind of hard to tell what happens after that. You know, it didn't look like too much. Really not much to get excited about there after the play.
But when one player's got his arms wrapped around the other from the back, doesn't one guy clearly have possession?
Yes, but what I'm saying is it's not easy to release the arms if BJ is holding them tight.
Into the paint, Calhoun, kick out for Hamilton. Purvis off the cross-court pass with contact, no call. Now White stripped away. Finds himself in the paint, puts it up, and the refs are letting him play late in the first half.
This is interesting. I mean, we've seen some bump screens get called here. Now we're seeing a lot of contact, not so many calls. East Carolina still sticking in that 1-3-1 zone. I like that. I feel like it's been effective for him. Can UConn shoot him out of it? That's the man to do it right there. He found a spot that's hard to guard against that 1-3-1.
9 for Boatwright. First bucket for him, though, after a 7-minute drought from the leading scorer for the Huskies. 2 minutes left in the first half. First time they played was in Stores. White goes up and gets it. 7-point lead. And in that game, it was a 7-point lead at halftime on the road for ECU. UConn came back to win.
Terrific look, too, from Antonio Robinson there. He's had a quiet little successful game here. He's managed it well. Terrific defensive play there. Marshall Gilmet.
Tyson right to the rim. .15 to find a shot for Boatwright and UConn. Purvis. And it was an early whistle on the loose ball off the miss by Purvis.
Let's watch the pass here. That terrific look from Robinson. White with the finish. And then the coast to coast from BJ Tyson, the freshman that has continued to impress me, really come off the bench this year at times. You know, has gotten down on himself. He wanted to be everything at every time. And when I got a chance to talk to him before the game, I said, all right, BJ, tell me what you've learned in your first season of playing Division I basketball and having a chance to play the national champions. He said, what I realized about this year was that everything's not going to go your way. And so, well, what are you going to do? Or what do you do when everything doesn't go your way? How do you react? He says, I just kind of accept that that's the way it is. And if things go right, it's kind of a bonus. I'm like, exactly. That's a good way to think, because you can't expect things to happen every single night you're on the floor. Division I basketball is a huge jump from the high school level. So for him to kind of get that understanding early on, it's a huge sign of maturity and a positive outlook for he and Jeff Lebo in this squad.
Three-sport athlete coming out of high school in Wadesboro, North Carolina. He takes the backdoor cut and scores it again.
Wow.
If every freshman thought like B.J. Tyson, there would be a lot fewer transfers in college basketball.
You said he was a three-sport athlete, right? So did he play football?
Yes.
Did he have to handle the football at times, maybe like a quarterback? Because the way he handled that basketball right there was so delicate, yet he was able to put it right in the right spot. That was beautiful.
Hamilton missed. Foul Facey follows. Jeff Lebo frustrated with his team not boxing out, uses his timeout, now has a chance to set up one final shot to close out the first half. ESPN's journey to the tourney continues Saturday on ESPN. The top two teams of the Missouri Valley square off. Number 10, Northern Iowa, and number 11, Wichita State. It's only the second time in 33 years that two ranked teams from the Valley have squared off against one another. You see it Saturday at 2 on ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
So Northern Iowa has held their last two opponents to 39 points. And I know one thing, all 10,000 seats will be accounted for at Wichita State. What an amazing environment to have game day. I wish you and I could somehow sneak over there for just a couple hours, see what it's like.
So out of the timeout, it's Caleb White to get it in. Full court inbound for ECU.
So one of the guys to watch out for here is a sneak attack. Gilmet trailing the play, maybe with a three. He can shoot it from the outside.
Gilmet's already got 9 points here in the first half for a guy who averages 5. UConn with the substitution. Samuel sits, and now Hamilton on the ball. Tyson guarded by Boatwright. 5 to shoot. Tyson, the freshman, blows by the senior for the bucket, and that's how the first half comes to a close. It's East Carolina with a 9-point halftime lead.
Well, I was wrong. B.J. Tyson, with the blessing of his coach, Jeff Lebo, the freshman, taking it all on his own, one-on-one, against a terrific defender in Ryan Boatwright. He crosses him up right to left and finishes high off the glass. Love the way he looked at the glass before he let it go.
So ECU trying to avenge their loss earlier this year. Let's go to Anish Shroff, Dino Gaudio with the ESPNU halftime report.
You're watching ESPN's Bracket Builder Week, presented by Dish.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by PNC. At the break, East Carolina here at home at Minges Coliseum with a 33-24 lead over the defending national champion UConn Huskies. Welcome back courtside. My cousins, Brooke Weisbrod. Well, ECU finished off strong there. They made 10 of their last 12. UConn, no Amita Bryma, didn't shoot very well from 3.
With no Amita Bryma, it really opened up the paint for East Carolina. So Terry Wisnant and B.J. Tyson could get right in there. The 22 points in the paint from East Carolina was one thing. But Ryan Boatwright really was the only outside shooter for Connecticut in that first half. He was 3 of 5 from 3. The Huskies as a team, though, just 3 of 14. I think that 1-3-1 defense from East Carolina really neutralized the Huskies. And this is what I'm talking about. The transition offense with this, oh, it's just so pretty. I could watch that like 100 times. But the moves here from Terry Wisnant and B.J. Tyson in the first half, both with 7 points, including this move to close out the first half.
to 3 of 14 from beyond the arc. You mentioned it, Brooke, 22 points in the paint. A lot of that for ECU. Drive into the bucket. You saw those great takes on the interior by Wisden and Tyson. Leading scorer, though, in the first half for ECU, Marshall Gilmet, 9 points for the redshirt sophomore, 5 shy of his career high. Here we go, and Amita Brima back onto the floor, number 35 protecting the paint, playing with 2 fouls. That was what Kevin Ollie pulled him aside right before they left the huddle to go take the floor and said, don't forget, you're playing with 2 fouls. Call goes against ECU. Out of bounds was the call. And so it's Boatwright back to work with UConn.
Staying in it, the 1-3-1 zone.
Corners can be vulnerable. Boatwright faded away. Offensive board for Hamilton, and as he goes to the ground, it's a foul against the Pirates. Foul is on Gilmet, number 2 on the big man for ECU. Brooke, I think you'd agree with this. Probably the last 5 minutes of the first half, the officials let a lot of physical play go.
Yeah, it definitely was. Felt like it was being called differently from the first part of the game. It felt a little bit tighter and then loosened up, which I like a lot better. I think these guys do too. That's the kind of game they both want to play. So I really like the way it got adjusted, and hope to see more of that here in the second half.
Nothing doing on the interior. 10 on the shot clock for the Huskies. Hamilton takes the drop off, assist for Calhoun.
See, that's where it's going to be. You can get the ball into that corner there, and then from there, you can find a way to make an entry pass into the paint. UConn does not have to settle for 3-point shots against the 1-3-1. You just got to find those pockets, and from that pocket, then you drive into the paint. It's still open.
First 2 times that UConn opened up games against ECU, they went to Brima inside. Hamilton goes glass and scores. In the first game, it was Brima getting foul trouble against the ECU big men. Here today, they got some lobs for him, but then he had to sit, and then the offense on the interior faded away for UConn.
The last time they played at UConn, East Carolina, I think played a 2-3. And Brima got behind that 2-3, and he was just dunking all over the place. That's a good pass from Gilmet. Looks like they'll lose the ball out of bounds, so UConn will recover.
It's a 6th turnover for the Pirates.
You know, 1-3-1 is something you see less than 5 times a year, I'd say, throughout the course of the season. So for a big guy like Brima, who's still learning how to get involved in the offense, he's not quite sure where to be in a 1-3-1, where to step when a guard drives. So those are still little tweaks to his game that he's learning. As you see a bunch of different defenses, it's confusing.
First foul on Caleb White. Purvis, the big man, that's the guy they depend on to drive at 6'4", 205 pounds. Transfer out of NC State, but only shoots 46% at the free throw line.
You can see he's got terrific upper body strength, so he's got to use that to his advantage and attack, attack, attack. One thing I'm seeing initially off of his free throw there is he lets it go and he doesn't have much of a follow through at the very end. He just kind of keeps it with his palm facing the glass. It should be parallel with the floor.
5-0 run for UConn to open up the second half. The Huskies this year trailing at halftime for the 17th time in 27 games. 5-11 when down coming out of the locker room. On the road here in Greenville. 11-3 the home mark for the Pirates. Gilmet shoulders Brima back and strong off the glass for 2.
Well, he wanted that call too. What a gutsy move there by Gilmet. Just going body to body with Brima. He'll get called for the foul here. He's got to be careful here. Have a lot of emotion. Got to contain that. Let's watch this play again, though. This is terrific. He's lucky he didn't Good call for a hooking foul a little bit there. The up and under right against Bryma. I think that's the right call. No foul. I don't think he was looking for one either. He was just pumping himself up, but just disappointed he got called for the foul on this end.
11 points for Gilmet. And how about this, the way they've played inside, going through him, a guy who's battled injuries his entire career, hip flexor injury this year. 12 of their 14 made buckets today have come in the paint.
It's a sign of discipline, and it's a sign of a team that's growing, because this East Carolina team would only settle for threes, and they'll still shoot and make 8, 9, 10 threes a game, but they're learning how to use their inside guys, and you see the benefit of having a healthy roster, especially a guy like Gilmet. He's a game changer at times when he's playing right.
Robinson over everything, and White takes it away. Wisnin from 3.
Would have been a big momentum 3 here for the Pirates. Instead, you kind of keep the door open for Connecticut, who hasn't fallen out of place here. They just haven't taken the game over. Really, other than that run to open the game by Bryma, I believe it was all 6 baskets, or all 3 baskets to start this game. Gilmet just straight up trying to challenge him.
Wisnin going for the loose ball. Fouls on Hamilton, his second. Oh, we got 16 and a half minutes left. It's going to be fun to watch Gilmet and Bryma go blow for blow in the paint.
I hope they stay in the game for 16 and a half minutes. I don't want to see either one of them foul out.
Well, Gilmet has 3 fouls, and Bryma with 2, and Gilmet takes a seat now as Zangari comes on the floor. Brings him size, but not quite as much offense in the paint.
I think the benefit goes to UConn. If this East Carolina team decides to go man-to-man, I think UConn can score in the half-court set.
Size mismatch there as Zangari took it in on Purvis. And they got Purvis on the floor, his first. Kevin Ollie, many a time tonight, has had a perplexed look. His team down by 5. Zangari sees single coverage. Dishes now for White. The freshman Tyson, blow by, gets past Bryma and can't finish. He's shown he can get past Boatwright, and he can get past the 7-footer Bryma as well.
He brought all his moves with him tonight. He's ready to put him on full display, and I love that he's ready to challenge Connecticut. He's ready to challenge Amita Bryma, one of your better shot blockers in the country.
2 defenders came out on Boatwright. That left Hamilton with a clear path to the rim. UConn, the first 5 minutes, has trimmed the halftime lead of ECU. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dish. Only the Hopper from Dish gives you the power to watch all your live and recorded TV anywhere. And Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dish. Only the Hopper from Dish gives you the power to watch all your live and recorded TV anywhere. And State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. 4 years and a full head of hair for Jeff Lebo in Chapel Hill. A 4-year starter for Dean Smith with the Tar Heels, and his squad up 35-30 here at home against UConn. Second time these two teams square off this year. 5 seasons deep now here at ECU. Also coached at Auburn, Chattanooga, and Tennessee Tech.
Digging the jacket. I like the purple jacket, but the shorts
You go
were...
eggplant today? Is that the appropriate color for that?
I think we could label that eggplant. Sure.
He made a statement at the American Conference Media Day with a full purple suit. He also went pinstripes against UConn, if you remember, last time they played.
I didn't, but I'm glad you're paying so much attention to detail.
Someone's got to be on the American Conference
Clearly.
Fashion Watch.
I'm going to step my game up.
8 points here in the second half for UConn. Hamilton's got 7 of them.
See, what Connecticut tries to do is to keep you on one side of the floor. They do not want you to go middle. Tyson able to turn that corner, and that's just a wasted shot there for East Carolina. That's not what you want at all. And Zangari just kind of threw that one up without even really knowing where the basket was.
And that's the difference they get there in the post between Zangari and Gilmet. And Brahma goes up to get it.
Zangari not quite as active as Gilmet. Can't give you the length as a shooter. Just doesn't play at the same energy level. This East Carolina team kind of without that pizzazz. Now it's time for Tyson or Wisnant. They got to come alive right now. And they got to move, they got to shoot. Just create some energy and some flow.
Wisnant tries it and gets nothing but the back iron. Back into Purvis. And he kicks it out of bounds. East Carolina basketball. Brahma got the bucket last time for UConn. His first point since the 17:30 mark of the first half.
So with Gilmet out of the game, it really exposes the back line, and this is exactly what makes the Connecticut Huskies so dangerous, is that they have guys like this in plays. You see Purvis right there. He was ready to make that play. So much talent on this team. They just have not been able to synchronize it all together at the same time.
We welcome you back to North Carolina and apologize for the technical difficulties. Mike Cousins and Brooke Weisbrod, and UConn with a 36-35 lead. First time the Huskies have led since the first half when it was 14-12. Amita Brima getting some lobs has helped get them back to action.
That's why you start to understand how important it is for Ryan Boatwright to have help. And not just any help, but help from the inside. Amita Brima is a breakout player. You know he can defend, but you have to trust him to score. He's still learning. He's still very raw as a player. He picks the basketball up for the first time as a teenager. But you see he's got size, and you see he's got skill. He spent a lot of his childhood playing soccer. We've got terrific footwork and touch. Again, it's just the time getting it out on the floor and practice. Getting a feel for how to find an open spot against a 1-3-1 defense. Those things take sometimes 5-7 years before you can understand how basketball really works.
Now Tejada's got it, top of the key, driving on Boatwright. One bounce left, block in for Zangari. Back to the basket, he dribbles and pops it off the back iron. Hamilton with the rebound, and he leads the break for the Huskies. From the right wing, Purvis drives. Straight up top, Hamilton. Kick left arc, Boatwright out to the corner, and a traveling violation called against UConn as Purvis tried to take it inside. Sixth turnover of the night for UConn, a 36-35 lead over East Carolina with 12:48 left to go in the second half. A near sellout crowd and not so great winter storm conditions tonight here in North Carolina, but this looks like probably the biggest crowd of the year for ECU.
Yeah, got to give a lot of love and respect to the folks here who battled it out the weather. I think just starting to get that outside from what we're understanding. So great job for everybody for showing up, supporting their club.
Gilmet, high left arc, tries his second three of the game. No. And the rebound down to Boatwright. The Huskies still up 36-35, 12-15 in the second half. Boatwright kick left wing. Purvis three in the air. Rattles in and out. Loose ball. Hamilton collects. He lobs and Brima finishes from the left block. Amita Brima going off in the second half. And it's 38-35. UConn in front.
One thing very different from UConn here in the second half versus the first is how much quicker they're moving the ball. They're not wasting any time. They catch, attack the rim. If nothing's there, they kick it out and restart it back up again. There's no wasted time here for the Connecticut Huskies. Every possession has meant something.
11:45 in the second half. UConn 38, East Carolina 35. Gilmet top of the key, dribble handoff Tejada. He pulls a three and drills it to tie the game at 38.
It feels like forever since East Carolina has scored, doesn't it? That basket was big for the Pirates. They need some confidence points here.
11:15. Next whistle brings us to a timeout. UConn working the arc to the far corner. Purvis tries a three and swishes it with the answer from Tejada. And UConn back up 41-38, under 11 minutes left in the half. Now Tejada in front of the ECU bench, working on Boatwright. Back up top. Gilmet tries another three. That's short for the big man. And Hamilton lets it go out of bounds. UConn has the basketball when we come back. 10:46 to play in the second half. And the Huskies lead at 41-38 here in North Carolina.
Anish Shroff in the studio with Dino Gaudio. We want to apologize for the technical difficulties in Greenville, North Carolina. Hoping to get the video issue fixed, but for now we get you back out to UConn ECU and listening.
Well, 41-38. UConn was down at the half, but they have surged back because Amita Brima is back on the floor. He was saddled with 2 fouls in the first half, but he's making his presence felt here post-halftime.
The guards are fighting him, and he's working well, moving without the basketball. Brima, 6 of 7 here for this game, 12 points, and he's also got 4 blocks to go along with it. So when he's in the game, it changes for Connecticut. His big key to success, Mike, is staying out of foul trouble.
Well, moving picture and all, we're glad to have you back here at Minges Coliseum with Brooke Weisbrod, Mike Cousins. 10:40 to go in this one. UConn up by 3. They met earlier this season. The Huskies pulled out a win at home in Connecticut, and now trying to do what only 3 teams have done so far this season on the road is beat East Carolina on its home court. Tejada works on Boatwright. And now White looking back inside. So are all the Pirates, with Marshall Gilmet back on the floor. It's been a significant scoring threat for them tonight with 11 points. 10 on the shot clock. Foul called on the interior with Gilmet and Brima going at it. And that's number 3 on Brima.
You know what the plan is? You'd like to get the ball Gilmet, because you know he's got the confidence to go body to body with Brima and just trying to establish position. And Amita Brima trying to sell his case for getting hooked on Gilmet.
That quick foul came from the baseline official once Brima tried to dislodge Gilmet out of his position with that armbar. White goes by Nolan and gets 2 off the glass.
What made that move successful was the second effort. Coming off the screen, he got bumped out of balance. His shoulders kind of turned away from the basket, so he collected his balance, got the strength to move 1 step closer to it. That was terrific body control. It's not easy to do.
Since halftime, it's been UConn 19, ECU 7. Hamilton, shot fakes his way into the lane. Samuel tries a three. Now foul off the loose ball. And it looked like there may be a lost contact lens for Paris Campbell. That's his third foul.
I don't know, Mike. I think he was bleeding. I saw him kind of look over like he was spitting out some blood after this play here. So he...
Oh, yeah. Contact chin to chin there with Nolan.
Yeah. Different kind of contact.
Right.
He found contact. He didn't lose it.
So he's going to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Foul called on Lance Tejada for the Pirates, his second.
That'll sting a little bit.
Well, that's something both of these teams have been familiar with. Ryan Boatwright right now has a bridge holding 3 of his teeth in place because of a collision in their game against Memphis. And Rodney Purvis, who's got the ball right now, has 3 stitches in his lower lip because that got busted up.
How about Boatwright saying thanks but no thanks to the mouth guard? He was awfully brave.
Purvis from the corner knocks it down right in front of his own bench.
Second time. He's tapped that comfort zone and tried over there. The Huskies now starting to sit a little more comfortably here with a 6-point lead. You get the sense that they're going to outmanage this game. East Carolina having more and more difficulty finding easy ways to score.
Foul on Samuel, 4 against the Huskies and 6 whistles against the Pirates second half.
See, when the Huskies work so hard to get the ball to the paint, to the inside, to Bryman, to their inside guys, then it really limits how much East Carolina can run off the glass. Those long shots and long rebounds lead to transition points in the first half. UConn saying, no, we're going to get all the way to the rim because we can. And that's what they've done, and that's kind of been one of the differences here in the second half.
Well, they scored with a lot of big men. Hamilton, Bryma, and Purvis with all of the second half points for the Huskies. Now Boatwright looking to get into the action. Quick trigger, but White feels it. East Carolina within 4. And a timeout called by Kevin Ollie. Just with a sense of the crowd here starting to get louder again. That's a smart timeout there to try and stop some of the momentum for ECU.
Go back to this 3 here from Purvis from the corner. Terrific rotation, but it happened again because Boatwright penetrated and then he dished it out. And here's White with the pull-up jump shot. You know, East Carolina needs to get some, those are confidence buckets. That's what I mean. Early on in the possession, you take a shot that's given to you that the defense is allowing, but you got the confidence to knock it down. Those help build up, you know, your 2 or 3 scores in a row. That's what you need. Because right now, it's just going to be all about mental toughness from here on out. You're facing the defending national champions who found a way to beat you at their house when you had given them all kinds of trouble for a good 26, 27 minutes of that game.
Only the 6th time that these 2 teams have ever squared up. UConn has won 4 of the 5 matchups. ECU's only win came 44 years ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Oral Roberts Classic. Boatwright unselfish, Samuel as well. Couple of bounces and out on the try for Purvis, who just hit from the opposite corner. Now Gilmet spins inside, contact, and it's going the other way. They call him for sweeping out with the elbow, number 4 on Gilmet.
Let's watch this again. This is a big-time call here. Gilmet's 4th foul. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, man.
So 7:01 here in the second. And now out of the timeout, a foul assessed against UConn as well. Coming right back to North Carolina. Fourth foul assessed on Marshall Gilmet. That's a game changer for East Carolina. Down 4 with 7 minutes to go. And a second look at what they whistled for was an elbow as he went inside trying to go to the basket.
He has been playing aggressive with his hands, so he got away with a little bit of a hook there, and then at the end there, that's where the foul occurs. And that's what they're going to deem his fourth personal there. And again, like you said, Mike, it's a game changer. He's still in the game, though. East Carolina changed. They were in a 1-3-1 most of this game. And the last 2 or 3 possessions, they've gone back to a 2-3 zone.
Hamilton rattles it out. Now they say there was no foul on UConn before that timeout. So the only foul was on Gilmet. 7 fouls against the Pirates, 4 on the Huskies. White went down. It's a 5-on-4. Hamilton to the corner. Calhoun in the air. Loose ball foul. Brima and Gilmet going for it. And that's on Brima, and that's his fourth. So the most impactful big men in this game, Gilmet for ECU, Brima for UConn, now have 4 fouls.
Lots of contact under the basket. Brima getting kind of pushed out of the way there by White. Really just, I don't get it. You know, I've really had a hard time understanding the ebb and flow of how this game's being called. Because at times we've seen a lot of contact with no whistles, and then right there, I think, you know, I think that's just a play for the ball. I don't see how you can make that call there, but either way.
It didn't look like he dislodged Gilmet.
It just, if anything, it looked like Brima was getting pushed out of bounds, but either way, Brima going to take a seat. Gilmet's still in the game.
And Tyson goes back to work as Purvis, who's called for his second foul. Coming up after the finish of this one, it's Wednesday Night Hoops presented by PNC. Number 19, Baylor visits Hilton Coliseum. Number 12, Iowa State. Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish here on the home court of college hoops. 14-0 for the Cyclones at home this year. It's a tough test. Here at home, East Carolina 11-3 on the year. Tyson launches, and Gilmet in the right place at the right time. 2-point game.
Can you give that assist to Wisnan? Can you give him that? That was a nice tip off the rebound. This play's starting to come alive. Oh, this is the reason the Menzies Maniacs exist, right here. Okay. Let's see what you got.
Purvis wants it again. Give it to him again. 90 minutes from home, and Purvis feeling it from 3.
Yeah, 90 minutes from home, but 10 feet from his family. How many times are you going to get burned from that corner shot before you get a hand on Rodney Purvis?
White with a little shake, and Nolan. Whistle. It's a foul. The ECU bench wanted a goaltend as well.
Let's watch this tip again. Well, first the corner 3 here from Purvis. He's been able to move well without the basketball, and then here's that tip from Wisnan right to the hands of Gilmet. You know what I love is there's no reaction from him on the run down. He's sprinting back to get on defense. Love that.
He is a fiery player. You compared him earlier to Tyler Hansborough, Psycho T. Could we have Psycho G for Gilmet?
No, I think we stay away from that. He's got too cool of a name. Marshall Gilmet, that's just a cool name. He's too mild-mannered, you know, to be a total Hansborough. He's got that kind of energy at times.
The lead is 4, and the clock reads 5. Boatwright dishing. Now here comes the freshman Tyson. leading the team about 13 points a game, only 7 tonight. Baseline drive. It's a turnover for the Pirates. 8th time they've given it up.
Yeah, it's possession. You scratch your head thinking, what are you doing with it? You know, you don't leave the ground, the basketball, especially under the rim. You don't know where it's going to go. A misstep there for Robinson, who typically doesn't turn the ball over. He's one of the best guys in the American when it comes to assist to turnover ratio.
Number 1 in the league.
The best.
Boatwright gets a good look and knocks it down. First points of the second half for Boatwright, but they're big as they stretch UConn's lead to 7.
It's been interesting to watch UConn score easily against this 2-3 zone. Well, why not go back to a 1-3-1 if you're East Carolina? It gave Connecticut problems. Instead, the 2-3, they're getting all into the paint.
And Tyson is going to the free throw line. Foul on Hamilton, his 3rd. Ryan Boatwright, 18 points a game, and when he's open, it's a sure shot. UConn in front. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by PNC for the Achiever in You. And in part by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Tonight, down to the wire between East Carolina and the University of Connecticut. 52-45, UConn with the lead and 3:55 to go. There was talk from early this week that there would be a great crowd on hand and one of the best showings of the year to watch ECU, a team at 5-9 in the American, but a great showing tonight against the defending national champions.
Why not? You'd expect everybody to be out here in full force because you need that home court advantage. You need that loudness. Be disruptive. B.J. Tyson has been disruptive for this team all season long, coming off the bench as a freshman. It's a ton of confidence, a lot of maturity. This is going to be the time of the game where Terry Wisnant, they're going to have to take over. I think this East Carolina team defensively, they need to turn it up for UConn to get out of here with the win. Just continue to play patient ball. Don't beat yourself. Don't let the offensive rebounds get you back in this game.
Well, about 4.5 minutes left in the half. Boatwright got his first points in the second half. That first free throw there from Tyson was his first point of the second half. Both teams leading scorers. Trying to go high-low, and the Pirates could not get a hand on it. Last touch by Gilmet, who's on the floor playing with 4 fouls. Meanwhile, Kevin Ollie saving his biggest interior threat, Amita Brima, on the bench, also with 4 fouls.
You know, you think about for this East Carolina team, they haven't had a lot to look forward to this year. It's been a rough season, trying to find their way in a conference where, you know, at times they were just trying to find their way through Conference USA just a second ago.
Boatwright only had 3 to shoot, had to get rid of it.
It's a shot you're going to have to get, but a little more pressure here from Connecticut. This is the biggest game of the season for East Carolina. You're at home, you got a sellout crowd, and you have a chance to knock off the defending national champions at home. So you can understand when you watch Gilmet lose that ball out of bounds, him getting emotional right then and there. This is big time for these guys.
Brima is back on the floor, the 7-footer, guarding Gilmet, who's got the ball. Tyson steps back off the screen. Rebound, Wisnant inside, rejected by Brima, who has been active to say the least on the glass.
He blocked that ball so hard, they better check it to make sure it's got all the air pressure in it. He just annihilated that shot.
8th swat for UConn. The Huskies now will bleed the clock down with their lead at 6. Robinson goes right to the rim, misses, kicks out. Wisden for three. And now here comes Samuel. Gilmet had to be careful and let him go because that would have been foul number 5.
Yeah, he had to give him the lane. And the timeout here. You know, just when you think this game's getting a little stale on offense, it's getting to the half-court set, unable to score. UConn able to run out and get buckets easily off their defense and off the long rebounds. East Carolina trying to keep it alive here, but watch this. Just boom, right off the glass. I want to watch that in full time, real time again. Just Tamita Brima almost hitting his head on the backboard in the rim. Let's watch this full time. We appreciate it. Yeah. Somebody at the next level is going to want him to do that every day. They're going to pay him a lot of money to do it.
Nothing cheap about that block. 6 of the 8 blocks tonight for UConn have come from Brima, who now in his last 5 games, counting tonight, has 27 block shots.
It's all about timing for him. You know, if he can figure out even more how to defend without fouling, put some muscle, put some poundage on that body, and then just continue getting better with the reps and familiarity of the game as a post player. You know, his base level as an athlete is there. He spent a lot of time as a kid playing soccer, so his footwork is tremendous. I've witnessed him actually playing hacky sack, like leading a game of hacky sack. Dude's got skills.
Seen him on the defensive end, shuffling around. Hamilton, big bucket for Tyson, who attacks the 7-footer. And that is foul number 5 on Amita Brima. His night is done.
Kevin Ollie trying to will his team to come over and get the message. You know, for Brima right now, you know, he's upset with the call. He doesn't agree with it. But you know, right now, you got to take this time to get yourself together and just get out of this game. It doesn't look like there was much contact there, that's for sure.
Well, the call comes, I suppose, when he hits Tyson with his chest. And when we talked to Brima earlier this year, the first time UConn and ECU squared off, he said, when I get in trouble is when I try and be too physical rather than just letting my height work for itself.
Well, that's a good point, because he's got such a long reach that you don't have to impose yourself on someone. Just give them the space and just time it right. You know, yeah, it looks better when you jump all into somebody and then swat it, but more times than not, they're going to jump right into you and get called for the foul.
The Pirates were denying the ball from Boatwright, doubling him on the inbounds. The foul on Wisden. And so Samuel goes to the line. 77% free throw shooter. Knocks it down on the first end of the 1-and-1. 8 fouls against ECU, and the next one on UConn will be the double bonus. Two of 2 in crunch time for Samuel, the sophomore from New York City. Plenty of time. Tyson attacks. Comes up with no bucket, no call.
Yeah, he made that shot too hard. He was already clear laned by the time he got all the way up to the rim on the left side. And then when he tried to shoot it with the right, it got stuck by the rim. He was trying to avoid getting blocked. I see that, but he made it too hard for himself.
Pirates looked like they were going to play out the full 35, but Robinson draws the whistle. His second. 19 fouls on both sides. So, Brooke, at the half, East Carolina led 33-24. Obviously, the second half has tilted heavily in favor of the Huskies. What's been the biggest difference?
Well, there was a difference in a couple of things. I think Connecticut moved the ball better offensively. They stepped up their defense game. And then Amita Brima, He was the difference. He wasn't in for most of the first half with foul trouble. He came in, and it was the guards from Connecticut able to penetrate and find that guy right there, Amita Brima, for some easy feeds. Purvis hitting threes from the corner. And then once East Carolina changed from the 1-3-1 to the 2-3, it made it much easier for Connecticut to expose the flaws.
Boatwright had 23 the first time that these two teams met, 14 tonight. But it's been much more of a team effort for the Huskies. Tyson goes for Gilmet. Can't get it to go from right in front of the bucket. And now a foul is called on Connecticut. Beg your pardon, a travel called against Connecticut. 7th turnover, and the Pirates get another try. Wisden wants 3. Shots aren't falling here late going, and Boatwright is going to the line for 2.
It was the toughness of the Huskies that prevailed. The second half was the difference. The post play on the finish, the guards play from the setup, and that guy right there took over. Didn't have a huge night, didn't need to. Just 14 points on a 58 for the Huskies. I thought he did a better job of getting everybody else involved. And Purvis, the hometown kid, the big game.
Well, college lacrosse is back on ESPNU Friday. 2 perennial powers meet for the first time since 2009. Number 1 Denver travels to number 4 North Carolina at Fetzer Field. It's Old Spice College Lacrosse Friday at 4 on ESPNU and also live on Watch ESPN.
Might be playing that game with snow boots.
Got to.
Yeah. About a foot expected, right?
A lot of snow expected for North Carolina. Gilmet, why not, from beyond the arc. Hamilton's got it, and the Pirates appear to have called off the Dogs. Except that's a traveling call on Hamilton.
And that's a tough 5th foul here for Marshall Gilmet, who was just trying to protect the rim, but came down awfully hard. And that left hip right on his side. And he's played so hard tonight. For somebody who's had hip problems in the past, it looks like he's grabbing 2 onto his one of his hands. Well, he should get a lot of applause here for his effort.
Just to think about how much energy he's displayed and how much passion he's put out tonight.
And here's the foul too. Yeah,
that right hand.
Absolutely. Landed on the hand. That's a good 3.5-foot fall. You see the pain right away, right when he lands on the floor. This guy has kept him in the game at times tonight.
So Gilmet's night is done. 13 points for him. 1 shy of tying his career high that he set in the season opener.
You're on your way if you're Connecticut. I'd still say you need 2 or 3 more wins. You want to get to that 10-11 win mark in the American. You're able to take SMU and Memphis at home and try to get Temple on the road here, but the Huskies fighting with everything they can to get in the postseason.
So UConn on the road drops East Carolina. 60-49 the final as the Huskies improve to 16-11. We'll take a quick timeout and come right back here to Minji's Coliseum.
I'm just gonna get out of the way.
60-49 is the final score here in Greenville, North Carolina, as UConn goes on the road and takes down ECU. Now joined by Kevin Ollie, the head coach of the Huskies. First time you played him, you beat him at your place, came down here, they gave you a good fight. It was close at halftime. What do you think was the difference in the second half?
We stayed connected. We wanted to execute and stay connected in the second half, and I wanted the guys to fight. It's special to put on the UConn jersey, and I wanted those guys to come out and fight with pride, and they did that in the second half. I think we held them to 19% in the second half, and that's the type of defense we need. Amita got in foul trouble, but when he was in the game, he was a game changer. And all of our guys stepped up. Rodney started hitting some shots. Boatwright started hitting some shots, and that's a UConn win because everybody stayed connected and executed.
Of course, for you guys, you're thinking about getting back to the NCAA tournament where you were so successful a year ago. Now 3 games left on your schedule, teams that beat you in the first go-around. What do you make of these last 3 games for you that are pretty challenging?
We're going to take SMU first on Sunday, and we're going to take it another step forward. We're going to take one possession at a time. I want our guys to execute, take one possession at a time, keep grinding it out. And this was a tough win, tough environment. They've been playing great at home. I thought our guys just stayed resilient. They was resourceful. They got every 50-50 ball, and it was just a tough, gutty win by our crew. And hopefully we can get out tonight.
Yeah, it's snow here in the area. Well, SMU up next. We wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on the win.
It, Mike. Thanks.
Kevin Ollie, head coach of the UConn Huskies as they win here over East Carolina. We'll come back and wrap things up right after this timeout.